Next week in Coronation Street, Carl Webster shocks everyone when he pulls a loaded gun on Kevin, ending with a terrifying shot being fired. After Kevin learns that Carl deliberately tampered with his car brakes, he loses his temper, grabs a wrench, and heads straight for him. The confrontation quickly spirals out of control when Carl suddenly produces a gun and points it directly at Kevin. Carl panics when Kevin comes at him with the wrench, and in a desperate attempt to protect himself, he waves the weapon to keep Kevin back. Everyone is left stunned to see Carl holding a gun, especially as tensions reach breaking point. The dramatic moment raises one huge question. Could Carl actually go through with shooting someone? The trouble begins earlier in the week when Kevin tells Carl he has received a request from another garage asking for a reference, but makes it clear he refuses to help him. Soon afterwards, Carl receives a phone call from his shady contact Fiona, who pressures him into taking on another illegal job. Although Carl initially hesitates, the promise of easy money eventually convinces him. Believing the task could help him secure a fresh start, he agrees, but things soon take a disastrous turn. Later on, Kevin is watching a video of Ruby Dobbs on Tyrone's phone when he accidentally discovers footage showing Carl interfering with the brakes on his vehicle. Furious after realizing the truth, Kevin storms off to confront him, while Tyrone and Ronnie Bailey hurry over in hopes of calming the situation. However, matters only get worse when Kevin discovers Tyrone and Ronnie already knew about Carl's actions. Ronnie tries to encourage everyone to move on from the drama, but Kevin refuses to forgive what happened. Realizing Carl may have tried to kill him, Kevin becomes consumed with rage. Inside the garage, tensions explode as Ronnie locks the doors, forcing everyone to stay and sort things out face to face. Kevin then charges toward Carl while holding the wrench. As the danger escalates, Carl reveals a package recently delivered by Fiona containing a loaded firearm. The atmosphere turns deadly as all four men stare at the weapon in shock. Ronnie insists nobody is leaving until the argument is settled. Believing the gun is fake, Kevin snatches it and points it back at Carl. Terrified by the situation, Ronnie attempts to wrestle the weapon away from Kevin, but during the struggle, the gun suddenly goes off. Following the shocking incident, Fiona corners Carl at Chariot Square and gives him a chilling warning. She tells him he has only 1 week to follow her demands. Otherwise, he could end up dead. But what dangerous task does Fiona want Carl to carry out? And after the gunshot chaos, could Kevin, Ronnie, or Tyrone be seriously hurt? Sarah faces awkward questions over her connection to Gary in upcoming Coronation Street scenes as Maria begins to fear the worst. It could become Weatherfield's most shocking secret romance, even if it never truly happened. On the same night Theo was killed, suspicions began growing that Gary may have secretly met up with his former partner, Sarah Platt. Longtime Corrie fans have already started speculating that there could be more to their relationship than friendship. While Theo was lying dead on the cobbles after being attacked by an unknown culprit, Sarah was also caught up in terrifying drama after unstable Jody Ramsey assaulted her. The confrontation happened after Sarah discovered Jody destroying the Platt family home following David throwing her out. Gary and Sarah previously shared a romance between 2016 and 2019 before Sarah eventually walked away from the relationship due to Gary's increasing criminal behavior. During that dark period, Gary became involved in several deadly incidents, including the factory roof collapse that killed Rana Habib before later taking the life of loan shark Rick Nealon while protecting himself. Since then, Gary appeared to have changed his ways after settling down with Maria Connor. However, his violent past makes him an obvious suspect in Theo's death. Gary had become close to Theo after giving him work on the building site and initially refused to believe accusations that Theo had abused Todd Grimshaw. It was Sarah who eventually convinced Gary that the claims were true. Gary has always despised violent men, but could betrayal push him over the edge? In recent weeks, Sarah and Gary have grown noticeably closer again following Theo's murder and Sarah's ordeal. On the night everything happened, Gary desperately tried to stop Kit Green from checking CCTV footage because it captured him smashing Theo's van with a sledgehammer. To protect him, Maria even provided Gary with a false alibi. But what if the footage exposed something else entirely? While Kit has been away, Sarah has repeatedly contacted Gary, admitting how much she misses him. Although her emotional state may simply stem from trauma after the attack, others may interpret it very differently. During one phone conversation, Sarah reassured Gary that he would always have her support and never be alone. Unbeknownst to them, Jody overheard every word while lurking nearby. When Sarah later denied having feelings for Gary, Jody remained convinced the pair were secretly seeing each other behind Maria's back and hinted she would keep quiet about it, at least temporarily. But Jody may not be the only problem Sarah faces. Maria's doubts begin to grow after she casually mentions Sarah forgetting Bethany's birthday, only for Gary to jump in with a passionate defense of his ex. The moment leaves Maria visibly unsettled. In upcoming episodes, Maria's concerns intensify as Kit continues focusing on Gary as the main suspect in Theo's murder investigation. At the same time, Maria becomes increasingly suspicious of Gary's unusual behavior, though for very different reasons. Her fears deepen even more when she catches Gary and Sarah embracing, while Gary insists they need to erase all their messages. Watching from a distance, Maria begins wondering if the two are hiding an affair. Unable to shake her worries, Maria later confides in Fizz and Izzy, admitting she believes Gary may be cheating on her with Sarah. Word of Maria's suspicions soon spreads, and Todd eventually informs Sarah that Maria thinks she has been secretly meeting Gary behind her back. Faced with growing pressure, will Sarah finally reveal the truth? Gary may get there first. A serious-looking Maria later tells Gary they need to have an important conversation. Trying to stay calm, Gary casually suggests they go out for a curry together later. But is he preparing to confess everything? Gary Windass faces mounting pressure in Coronation Street after a major breakthrough in Theo Silverton's murder investigation threatens to put him back under suspicion. Police officer Kit Green had already considered Gary a possible suspect after Todd Grimshaw's missing phone turned up in a pawn shop carrying Brody Michaelis' fingerprints. Brody later claimed he had discovered the phone inside a skip near the builder's yard, prompting Kit to question Gary directly. Although Gary managed to provide a believable explanation, Kit continued doubting his story. This all unfolded despite Summer Spellman being charged with Theo's murder after detectives discovered that a brooch recovered from Theo's flat belonged to her, alongside several other pieces of damaging evidence. However, another dramatic twist during the latest episode could once again shift the investigation toward Gary. The drama started when Carl Webster admitted to Tyrone Dobbs that memories from the night he was injured had started returning, and he now realized the incident happened inside the garage. Tyrone was left deeply shaken, especially because he also knew he had seen Summer on the night Theo died, information that could clear her name and stop her from facing prison. Coronation Street continues on ITV1 during weeknights at 8:30 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.